Hello, I am Dr. K.K. Misra from R Classes. I welcome you all to my YouTube channel R Classes. This video tutorial is on Indian legal system. In my previous video tutorial, I talked about the introduction portion. Here through this video tutorial, I will be discussing fundamental rights and laws. As far as fundamental rights are concerned, the fundamental rights embodied in Part 3 of the Constitution guarantee civil rights to all Indians and prevent the state from encroaching on individuals' liberty while simultaneously placing upon it an obligation to protect the citizens' rights from encroachment by society. 7 fundamental rights were originally provided by the Constitution: the right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, right to property, and right to constitutional remedies. However, the right to property was removed from Part 3 of the Constitution by the 44th Amendment in 1978. Articles from 12 to 35 of Indian Constitution deal with fundamental rights. It is expected that each citizen should know their rights. These human rights are conferred upon the citizens of India, for the Constitution tells that these rights are inviolable. Right to life, right to dignity, right to education, etc. all come under one of the 6 main fundamental rights. Fundamental rights are a very important topic in the polity section of the UPSC exam event. It is a basic static portion of the syllabus, but it is highly dynamic in the sense that it is featured in the daily news in some form or the other. Also, it is equally important not only from UPSC examination viewpoint, but in other different courses like BTech of AKTU or other courses where these subjects in fact at a school level are taught. Fundamental rights are the basic human rights enshrined in the Constitution of India, which are guaranteed to all citizens. They are applied without discrimination on the basis of race, religion, gender, etc. Significantly, fundamental rights are enforceable by the courts subject to certain conditions. The rights are called fundamental rights because of the 2 reasons. 1. They are enshrined in the Constitution, which guarantees them. 2. They are justifiable, that is enforceable by courts. In case of a violation, a person can approach a court of law. Fundamental rights are 6 in number, as in the previous slide it was mentioned. There are 6 fundamental rights of the Constitution. Along with the constitutional articles related to them are mentioned below, like right to equality, that is given in articles from 14 to 18, right to freedom, article from 19 to 20 deal with right to freedom, articles from 23 to 24 deal with right against exploitation, 25 and 28 right to freedom of religion, 29 and 30 cultural and educational rights, and article 32 right to constitutional remedies. Added to the Constitution in 1977. Now here the duties I am discussing: to abide by the Constitution, respect its ideals and institutions, the national flag and the national anthem, to value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture, to protect and improve the national environment including forests, lakes, rivers and wildlife, to have compassion for living creations, to strive towards excellence in all spheres of individual and collective activity. So these are, wherever fundamental rights are given, duties have also been defined. as it is written that these were added to the Constitution in 1977. Now, there are certain laws also, not all laws I am discussing here, some important ones. Indian Penal Code, popularly known as IPC, provides a penal code for all of India, including Jammu and Kashmir. The code applies to any offence committed by an Indian citizen anywhere and on any Indian registered ship or aircraft. Indian Penal Code came into force in 1862 during the British Raj and is regularly amended such as to include section 498A. The Indian legal system is mainly adversarial. However, in certain aspects it is hybrid of adversarial and inquisitorial functions. Particularly, the criminal justice system is not strictly adversarial, as some provisions in the criminal code require the judge to perform inquisitorial functions also. For example, the judge will undertake active fact-finding exercises such as directing further investigation, assisting in the framing of charges, calling any person as witness and procuring evidence. The Civil Procedure Code, known as CPC, another important landmark law, regulates the functioning of civil courts. It lays down that the procedure of filing the civil case, powers of court to pass various orders, court fees and stamps involved in filing of case, rights of the parties to case, that is plaintiff and defendant, jurisdiction and parameters of civil courts functioning, specific rules for proceedings of a case, right of appeals, review or reference. All civil courts are open courts and generally accessible by the public. This is subject to the direction of judge who may want to avoid public or any particular person from attending the court. Evidence of witnesses is also required to be taken in open court. Industrial and labor laws. There are a number of important ones included here. Just to mention, details you need to go through, in other different sources are available. Like there are different books on laws that you can also refer to. Industrial Dispute Act 1947, Wages Act 1948, Employees State Insurance Act 1948, Employees Provident Fund and Miscellaneous Provisions Act 1952, Beedi and Cigar Workers Act 1974, Equal Remuneration Act 1976, Contract Labor Act 1970, Child Labor Act 1986, Bonded Labor System Act 1976. These are some important laws that as and when required one may learn from the different sources, or the bare laws are available in the different books, or even online, through online sources these one can find. As far as Employees Provident Fund Act 1952 is concerned, this act will apply to every establishment which is a factory engaged in any industry mentioned in Schedule 1st of the Act and employing 20 or more persons, or any other establishment employing 20 or more persons, or such other establishment as the central government may notify. The Employees Provident Fund is one of the important, acts which is applicable as mentioned here to the different establishments. So from a professional knowledge or professional viewpoint, this is specifically mentioned here. I am explaining that this is really important for all those who are working in corporate world or otherwise. So the Employees Provident Fund is a social welfare legislation intended to protect the interest of the workers employed in factories and other establishments. It is implemented by the Employees Provident Fund Organization, EPFO of India. The Employees Provident Fund was passed by both the houses of the Parliament, and it received the assent of the President on 4th March 1952. Right to Information Act, in this century, in fact, it was introduced in 2003. The right to information emerges out of the umbrella of right to freedom of speech and expression and right to life. Right to information is also the centrifugal point for access to myriad other basic human rights such as environment, health, food, livelihood, etc. The most direct transformation that the right to information effects is in the governance system. From the perspective of citizenship, right to information is the primary tool in the hands of the citizen. So this was all about this brief, content on the different laws and in detail the fundamental rights. I hope that you have liked it, and if you have liked it, please do not forget to subscribe my channel or classes and press the bell button and pass it on to others, those who are needy now and in the future. Thank you. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you very much. Have a nice time. Best of luck.